How many facts do you think you can learn in 1 hour of fun facts? Well, get ready to learn 400 right now. Let's get started. Michael Phelps, nicknamed the Baltimore Shark, consumed up to 10,000 calories a day, the same as 4 or 5 people, to have the energy he needed for his competitions. Meet Sophie, the robotic fish created to explore and document marine life stealthily and efficiently. At Wimbledon 2010, a match between Eisner and Mahout lasted 11 hours and 5 minutes, spanning 3 days, making it the longest match in tennis history. Finding a blue lobster is a rare event, occurring in only 1 in 2 million due to a genetic abnormality. The human body contains about 37 liters of water, which represents approximately 60% of its total weight. Chimpanzees also have fits of laughter, showing surprising similarities to humans in the expression of emotions. Although its name suggests it has 100 legs, the centipede actually has around 30. Only 16% of women are born blonde, but 33% are blonde at some point in their lives. A cloud weighs an average of 1 billion tons, equivalent to the weight of about 10,000 tanker trucks. Hummingbirds flap their wings at an impressive speed, reaching up to 53 beats per second. Another curious fact is that hummingbirds can also fly backwards, thanks to the circular motion of their wings. Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan, is the largest city located below sea level, located 92 feet below it. Contrary to its name, the white rhinoceros is not white, but gray, which may surprise some. The sailfish is the fastest in the ocean, capable of reaching speeds of up to 68 miles per hour over short distances. Pheasant Island alternates its nationality every 6 months, being Spanish from February to July and French the rest of the year, sharing sovereignty between Spain and France. A mole is capable of digging a 100-meter tunnel in a single night, demonstrating its skill and speed as a digger. The black sapote is a curious fruit that tastes like chocolate pudding and is grown in Central and South America. All but 3 of the world's pandas are owned by China, as the Chinese government has sent them on loan to other countries to help increase their population and protect the species. Mongolia, whose capital is Ulaanbaatar, is the sovereign country with the lowest population density, with an average of less than 2 inhabitants per square kilometer. Tsar Alexander II and his advisors decided that if they couldn't protect Alaska, they might as well sell it before losing it to a possible war or invasion. The oldest restaurant in the world still in operation is Botín in Madrid, Spain, founded in 1725 and recognized by the Guinness Book of Records. Did you know that India has the highest percentage of vegetarians, at 29.5%, while Russia has the lowest? This is the narrowest street in the world, at just 31 centimeters wide. It is located in a city in southwestern Germany and is listed in the Guinness Book of Records. In China, there is a solar power plant designed in the shape of giant pandas. It was proposed in May 2016 by the largest shareholder of Panda Green Energy. Nomophobia is the irrational fear of being left without access to a mobile phone. Did you know that the koi fish is considered the most expensive aquatic pet in the world due to its rarity and limited numbers? Known for its golden color and aesthetic beauty, it can cost up to 1.6 million euros. India, Thailand, and China are the countries where people spend the most hours reading throughout the week. Apple's first logo was an illustration of Isaac Newton sitting under a tree. Did you know that the Oscar for Best Animated Film was created in 2001, and Shrek was the first winner in this category? The paradoxical frog is a fascinating animal that experiences a decrease in size as it develops. This species, which inhabits some regions of South America, begins its life as a large larva, and as it grows, its body shrinks drastically until it becomes a much smaller adult. Actress Jennifer Lawrence has a tattoo on her hand that says H2O as a reminder to stay hydrated. The average tree can make about 170,000 pencils. Switzerland and the Vatican are the only countries that have square-shaped flags. The Savannah cat is a hybrid breed created by crossing a serval with a domestic cat, a process that began in the 1980s. Additionally, in several countries, such as Australia, it is prohibited to keep Savannah cats as pets. United States banknotes have a fabric-like texture, as they are not made of conventional paper. They are composed of 75% cotton and 25% linen. 90% of the planet's ice is in Antarctica. New York is the world's city with the most millionaires, with approximately 349,000. Ostriches can reach speeds of up to 43 miles per hour and maintain that speed for longer than horses. McDonald's is the restaurant with the most branches worldwide, exceeding 40,000 establishments. Starbucks and Subway are in second and third position, respectively. Jupiter is larger than all the other planets in the solar system combined. Its mass, in fact, is more than double that of all the other planets combined. Jupiter is 318 times larger than Earth. Iceland is the only place in the world where, surprisingly, mosquitoes are not found. The beluga sturgeon is the largest freshwater fish in the world, weighing around 4,409 pounds and reaching almost 8.75 yards in length. Did you know that Millie Bobby Brown was born in Marbella, Spain? At the age of 4, she moved to the UK and then to the USA. The small hole in the caps of some pens was designed to prevent the risk of suffocation if accidentally swallowed. Jeff Dave is the person with the largest hands in the world. He is known as the real-life Popeye. The modern toilet restaurant in Taiwan serves food on plates shaped like toilet bowls. Even the ice cream is presented in mini toilet bowls, a unique experience. The largest butterfly in the world is the Atlas butterfly, with a wingspan that can reach 30 centimeters. This impressive creature is known for its size and vibrantly colored wings. The Mauna Kea volcano in Hawaii is taller than Everest when measured from its base on the seabed to its summit. A Colombian mango broke the world record, beating the heaviest Filipino mango. This mango, of the Tommy variety, weighed 9,369 pounds. Since 2017, a Tyrannosaurus Rex race has been held in Seattle, USA. Participants dress up as this dinosaur and compete to see who is the fastest. The Sony Ericsson Xperia Pureness, launched in 2009, was the first mobile phone with a completely transparent display from Sony Ericsson. As you watch this awesome video, approximately 2,000 thunderstorms are simultaneously occurring in different places around the planet. Did you know that stall number 1 in public toilets is usually the cleanest? This is because it is close to the door, and many people are embarrassed to use it. Grundtvig Church in Denmark has a very similar design to the church in Shrek, where Fiona almost marries Lord Farquaad. Look at the windows, materials, and altar. Did you know that the company behind Nerf darts has a mascot named Murph? This one caused quite a bit of controversy for how unattractive it is, and many consider it to have been unnecessary. The giant centipede is a type of centipede or millipede that inhabits the lowlands of Venezuela, Colombia, and the southern tip of the Caribbean, such as Trinidad. It is the most fearsome variety of centipede, and rightly so, as it possesses a potent and toxic venom for humans. Chess has more possible positions than the number of atoms in the observable universe. In Morocco, due to the lack of food on the ground, goats are famous for climbing argan trees in search of food. The actors who brought Mickey and Minnie Mouse to life, Wayne Allwine and Russi Taylor, were married in real life. They met on the set of Totally Minnie in 1986, where they both lent their voices to the iconic characters and were married before they met. You can't fold a square piece of paper more than 7 times in half. The iconic Hollywood sign originally read Hollywoodland in 2001. On the Tokyo subway, there are people known as people pushers who earn $1,500 a month. Their job is to help passengers get onto trains when they are too crowded. Cats spend more than 70% of their lives sleeping, averaging 15 to 20 hours of sleep a day. A person blinks about 25,000 times a week. Honey is a unique food that does not spoil, staying fresh indefinitely. Spanish is the second most spoken language in the world, behind only Chinese in terms of native speakers. This is what it was like to wake up in Manchester in the 1950s. They hired people to knock on their windows at a certain time. Real Madrid uses a mobile robotic barrier to practice free kicks. In the original script for Back to the Future, the time machine was not a DeLorean, but a refrigerator. Apples contain up to 25% air, which allows them to float on water. Shakespeare's daughter was illiterate, a surprising fact about the famous playwright's family. Hedgehogs can have between 5,000 and 7,000 quills on their body, which provides them with an effective defense against predators. Whales have the ability to sleep while swimming slowly, allowing them to rest without stopping moving. Sundung Cave is recognized as the largest cave passage in the world. It has dimensions that reach 656 feet high, 475 feet wide, and 3 miles long. Antarctica contains around 70% of the planet's fresh water, which highlights its importance as a reserve of water resources. Animals with a fast metabolism, such as flies and hummingbirds, perceive time more quickly. On the other hand, those with a slow metabolism, such as turtles and whales, experience it more slowly. Bolivia holds the record for being the flattest country on the planet. In addition, Bolivia holds another world record. Spain is the country with the highest number of bars per inhabitant. In this country, there is one bar or nightclub for every 1,500 people. The woodpecker can knock on wood up to 16 times per second. Its head moves at a speed of 6 meters per second, and the deceleration force of each peck is 1,000 times greater than gravity. Hippopotamus sweat is pink in color and acts as protection against the sun, insects, and germs. Sound travels faster in water than in air. The float at Marina Bay is an impressive multi-purpose stadium located in the Marina Bay area in the heart of Singapore City. The most popular video of all time on YouTube is the children's song Baby Shark. Sharks' teeth constantly regenerate, replacing themselves up to 30,000 times in their lifetime. Penguins have a gland that allows them to filter salt water and drink only fresh water. The flag of Japan has a red circle because it represents the rising sun in Japanese culture. Cuescomate, located in the city of Puebla, Mexico, is considered the smallest volcano on the planet. Cherries are one of the few fruits that contain melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Warm water freezes faster than cold water in certain cases, a phenomenon known as the Mpemba effect. The longest dress train is this one, which measures 26,500 feet and was achieved by Dynamic Projects in Caudry, France. The rays can reach temperatures of up to 30,000 degrees Celsius, much hotter than the surface of the sun. The color of tomatoes is not always red. Some varieties can be yellow, green, or purple. In Finland, there is a rock called Kumakivi, which is perfectly balanced on another, defying the laws of physics. Watermelon is the fruit with the highest water content, representing 92% of its composition. The heart of a shrimp is in its head. The sun is approximately 400 times larger than the moon, but it is also 400 times farther from the earth. Butterflies have sensors on their feet to taste the plants they land on. In Copenhagen, Denmark, more than 40% of residents commute to work or school by bike. The word robot comes from the Czech robota, meaning forced labor. Ice stays afloat in water because its density is lower than that of liquid water. The Jellyfish Festival in Greece is a celebration of ancient Greek mythology, where dances, performances, and parties are held around mythological figures. Rhinoceros beetles are incredibly strong, capable of carrying up to 1,000 times their own weight. Meet Devendra Sathar, the man who was born with 7 fingers on each of his fingers and hands, with 28 fingers in total. The giant squid has the largest eyes of any known animal. They can measure up to 27 centimeters in diameter. Coconuts can float on water, allowing them to travel great distances across the ocean. In Turkey, there is a city called Batman, which stands out for being one of the country's main oil producers, with refineries and significant production. Its name has attracted worldwide attention, but it actually comes from the Batman River, which runs through the region. The Turkish city of Batman is a key hub in the oil industry, with a daily output of 22,000 barrels. Japanese gymnast Shun Fujimoto won a gold medal at the 1976 Olympics despite a broken knee, without revealing his injury to anyone. Spiked dog collars were invented in ancient Greece for the purpose of protecting dogs from attacks by wolves and other predators. The Rio Carnival in Brazil is the world's largest festival, known for its samba-filled parades and elaborate costumes. Sea sponges have no brain or nervous system, but can still sense and respond to stimuli. The record for the longest-lived person is 122 years in 164 days, an achievement held by Jean Calment. Shooting stars are not stars, but meteorites that disintegrate upon entering the atmosphere. Did you know that Thailand holds an annual festival where thousands of floating lanterns light up the night sky, creating a stunning spectacle? This event, known as the Yi Peng Festival, is a Buddhist tradition where people make wishes while releasing the lanterns. The Pacific Ocean was named by navigator Ferdinand Magellan, who described it as a calm and serene sea in 1520, meaning peaceful. According to a study, teams or athletes who wear red are more likely to win, according to statistics. Red pandas use their fluffy tails as a kind of blanket to keep themselves warm while sleeping. The Gion Matsuri Festival in Kyoto, Japan, is one of the largest and oldest events in the country, with a history of more than 1,000 years. Throughout the month of July, the city is filled with celebrations, highlighting the parades of floats called Yamaboko, richly decorated and large. Sharks are able to live inside underwater volcanoes due to their amazing resistance to heat. This was demonstrated by the discovery of Sharkano, a strange shark that lives inside an erupting underwater volcano in the Pacific Ocean. Most school buses are yellow because this color is easily visible to people with vision problems and in adverse weather conditions, such as snow or fog. In Tanzania, there is a lake known as Lake Natron, whose waters have an extremely high pH, reaching alkalinity levels that can be deadly for animals, as they can be petrified. Did you know that the Wallace Line is an imaginary border that separates Asia from Oceania? This biogeographic barrier marks a limit between species from both continents. Few animals cross it due to strong sea currents. The Statue of Liberty, a gift from France to the United States, was designed by Frederic Auguste Bartholdi and built by Gustave Eiffel. Did you know that the length of the thumb of any hand is equal to that of the nose of the same person? Parrots can talk thanks to an organ called the syrinx, which allows them to produce a wide variety of sounds. Did you know that the stuffed caterpillar, despite its adorable appearance, is one of the most poisonous species in the world? Its venom can cause serious reactions in humans. San Marino, founded in 301, is considered the oldest country in the world, with a history dating back more than 1,700 years. Did you know that the moon suffers from lunar earthquakes caused by tidal stresses linked to its distance from the Earth? Unlike other national anthems, the Spanish anthem, La Marcha Real, has no official lyrics, being one of the few in the world in this situation. To produce 1 kilogram of honey, 2,500 bees are required, making around 200,000 flights. This involves traveling at least 8,000 kilometers and visiting approximately 1.4 million flowers. In Japan, there is a museum dedicated exclusively to genitals, called the Shitamachi Tanabata Museum. Zebras cannot sleep alone in the dark, as their social instinct leads them to sleep in groups, seeking safety in their herd. Vampires do not exist, but vampire bats feed on blood and are the only mammals that do so. Chameleons can see in 2 directions at once, thanks to their independent eyes. In Japan, there is a type of square watermelon that is grown for easy transport and storage. Dark chocolate can be poisonous to dogs because of theobromine, a substance they cannot digest properly. The first airplane flight took place on December 17, 1903, by the Wright brothers in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Did you know that the record for the longest time without sleep is held by a man named Randy Gardner? In 1964, he was awake for 11 days and 24 minutes as part of a scientific experiment. Australia's Pink Lake is actually pink because of the high concentration of salt and a microorganism called Dunaliella salina. Cats have more bones in their bodies than humans, as they have 230 bones compared to our 206. The Mediterranean Sea is the only sea in which no sharks dangerous to humans are found. The longest record of a person staying breathless underwater is 24 minutes, achieved by Alex Segura. This astonishing record was reached in 2016, demonstrating an incredible capacity for physical and mental control. Did you know that seahorses are the only animals in which the male gives birth? After a courtship process, the male fertilizes the female's eggs and carries them in his incubation sac until they hatch. The first photograph taken in human history needed 8 hours of exposure to capture an image. In Japan, people can rent friends for social activities, such as eating or going to the cinema, so they don't feel lonely. Moriah is the largest mirror-lined building in the world and is located in the Saudi Arabian desert. Fiddler crabs have one claw much larger than the other, which they use to attract females. The color of the water in volcanic lakes can vary from phosphorescent green to orange due to the chemistry of the water. Otters hold hands while they sleep to keep each other together and to stay together with their group. Isn't it just too cute to watch them sleep like this? A person can survive up to a month without food, but can only last about 7 days without water. The deepest point in the oceans, the Mariana Trench, is so deep that Mount Everest could fit inside, and there would still be more than a kilometer of water above it. In the past, ships leaving port were thought to fall off the edge of the Earth, as the Earth was thought to be flat. A rhino's horn is made of keratin, the same material that makes up our nails and hair. Despite its hard appearance, it is not made of bone, but of this fibrous protein. Frogs can hibernate underwater during the winter, even if they are frozen solid. The poison of a dart frog is so potent that it can kill a human if touched directly. This poison, known as batrachotoxin, is found in their skin and is capable of affecting the nervous system, causing paralysis or death if contacted. The Atacama Desert in Chile is the driest place on the planet, with some areas having not received rain in more than 400 years. The peregrine falcon is the fastest bird on the planet, reaching up to 239 miles per hour when it swoops down to hunt. Russia covers 10% of the Earth's surface, with a total of 17,982.5 square kilometers. Jumping spiders can jump up to 50 times their own body length, making them excellent hunters and escape artists. Their agility and precision when jumping allow them to catch prey or avoid danger quickly. Goats' eyes are rectangular in shape, allowing them to see over a much wider range than humans. The Earth is about 70% water, but only 1% of this water is drinkable. Meet Donald Gorski, the man who has eaten over 34,000 McDonald's Big Macs and holds the world record for this incredible feat. Horses can sleep both standing up and lying down, but they feel safer sleeping standing up due to their instinct to escape predators quickly. Frogfish lack teeth and must swallow their prey whole to feed themselves, as their mouth works as a kind of suction. This peculiarity allows them to hunt and consume prey much larger than themselves. Fire has no shadow, as the light it emits is enough to illuminate everything around it. The first computer in history, called ENIAC, weighed 30 tons and took up more space than a large house. The moon is moving away from Earth at a rate of about 3.8 centimeters per year, so it could one day disappear from the sky. In some cultures, such as India, cows are considered sacred animals and cannot be killed. France's longest land border is in Brazil, with a length of 418 miles thanks to French Guiana. Bees have 5 eyes, 2 compound and 3 simple, which help them detect light and find flowers. The human body has the capacity to produce about 1 liter of saliva per day, enough to fill a small bottle. The total amount of gold mined so far would be enough to fill only 3.5 Olympic swimming pools. The most expensive cheese in the world is called Pule and is made from donkey milk from a nature reserve in Serbia. Its production is limited and laborious, which means that each kilogram costs thousands of dollars. The estimated price of a kilogram of Pule is 1,000 euros. Thanks to the efficiency of their bodies, camels can survive up to 2 weeks without water. However, they can drink up to 150 liters of water in one go after being several days without hydration in the desert. Beavers can cut down trees with their teeth so sharp that they can fall in a matter of minutes. The largest crater on Earth, called Vredefort, is located in South Africa and has a diameter of 186 miles. Approximately 2 billion years old, it is the result of a meteorite impact, making it one of the oldest and most significant geological events in history. The first film projected on a cinema screen was made by the Lumiere brothers in 1895 in Paris. Pigs cannot look directly at the sky because their anatomy prevents them from doing so. In Australia, there are more kangaroos than people, with a population of over 50 million kangaroos. Redwoods are the tallest trees in the world, reaching over 328 feet in height. There is a fish called the blobfish that, when taken out of the water, looks like a gelatinous mass. Its appearance is so strange that it has been called the ugliest fish in the world. In Denmark, the world's tallest sandcastle was built, exceeding 20 meters in height and using almost 5,000 tons of sand. This impressive achievement was reached in 2019 and required meticulous engineering to keep the structure stable. The hottest place on Earth is the Lut Desert in Iran, where temperatures of over 70 degrees Celsius have been recorded. In Norway, there is a town called Longyearbyen, where it is illegal to die, as the extreme cold prevents bodies from decomposing. In Japan, there is an island called Okunoshima that is inhabited solely by wild rabbits, known for being friendly and approaching tourists. Sloths can live up to 30 years and due to their slow metabolism, sleep between 15 and 18 hours a day. Flamingos can sleep standing on one leg without losing their balance. In the vacuum of space, if you scream, no one can hear you because sound needs a medium to travel. The Rubik's Cube is the most widely sold toy in the world, with more than 450 million units sold. In 1996, a sheep named Dolly was the first mammal to be successfully cloned from an adult cell. Its creators, scientists Ian Wilmot and Keith Campbell of the Roslin Institute in Edinburgh, achieved this milestone that opened up new possibilities in biotechnology and cloning. The band Aerosmith generated more revenue from the release of the video game Guitar Hero Aerosmith than from all of their albums. This music video game was released in 2008 for platforms such as Xbox 360, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and Wii. The game not only offered an interactive experience, but also drove a 40% increase in sales of Aerosmith's albums. Nearly 80% of animal species on Earth have 6 legs, as most belong to the insect group. Glass frogs have transparent skin, allowing their internal organs to be clearly seen. This unique feature makes them easily identifiable in the wild. Hutuan is an abandoned village in China, known for its incredible transformation into a green village. Vegetation has invaded its structures, covering buildings and streets. Although it looks like a simple toy, the Rubik's Cube has more than 43 trillion possible combinations. Contrary to popular belief, when a cat meows, it is actually communicating with humans, not other cats. Japan has the most vending machines per person in the world, with about 1 for every 23 inhabitants. The longest national anthem in the world is Greece's Ode to Liberty, with a total of 158 verses. Half of the oxygen on the planet is generated in the oceans through the photosynthesis of various algae, making them the main producers of oxygen. Owls can turn their heads up to 270 degrees thanks to their flexible neck, which helps them hunt in the dark. Some species of fish can walk on land, using their fins as if they were legs. The first living animal to travel to space was a Russian dog named Laika. Launched into space on November 3, 1957, aboard the Sputnik 2 satellite. Although her mission was a milestone in space exploration, Laika did not survive the flight, as the extreme heat of the capsule caused her death just hours after launch. The Eobinia vermiculata snail, also known as the garden snail, has an impressive ability to hibernate for up to 3 years in unfavorable conditions. This species of snail can enter a state of dormancy, suspending its metabolism if temperatures are too low or if the food supply is scarce. In Japan, the Toro Nagashi festival is a significant tradition that is celebrated mainly in the summer as a way to pay tribute to the spirits of ancestors. During this event, people release floating paper lanterns into the water, creating a beautiful spectacle of lights that gently glide along rivers and seas. Beluga whales are known as canaries of the sea because of the sounds they make, which can be heard miles away. The African continent has 54 countries, but if you add up all its languages, there are more than 2,000 languages spoken across the continent. Scott Wade is an artist who specializes in creating artwork using dust and dirt on car windows, working with only his hands and a paintbrush. Chocolate, in its raw form, is bitter and is obtained from cocoa, which only becomes sweet when processed with sugar. There is a place in the world called the Bermuda Triangle that has been associated with mysterious disappearances of ships and planes. The first selfie was taken in 1839 by an American photographer named Robert Cornelius, long before the age of mobile phones. In some places around the world, such as Norway and Sweden, there is a tradition called fika, which consists of a daily break to enjoy coffee and cakes. Leonardo da Vinci's famous Codex Leicester, an ancient manuscript, was purchased by Bill Gates in 1994 for over $30 million. In Japan, there is a tradition called hanami, which celebrates the blooming of cherry trees, and people gather under the trees to observe the flowers during spring. The most expensive painting ever sold is Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi, which sold for over $450 million in 2017. The famous Big Ben in London is actually the name of the bell, not the clock or tower as many think. The first computer operating system, known as Unix, was created in 1969 by 2 researchers at AT&T. In Iceland, 10% of the population is said to believe in the existence of elves. Spaghetti in its traditional form originated in Italy, but it was in China that noodles were popularized thousands of years earlier. Although Vikings are often depicted wearing horned helmets, in reality, Viking helmets were plain and hornless. This misconception comes from later artistic depictions and not from historical reality. The Earth is flatter at the poles and wider at the equator due to its rotation, creating a slightly flattened shape. In Japan, there is a statue of a dog named Hachiko, famous for waiting for its owner every day for over 9 years after his death. In Japan, there is a holiday called Tanabata, where people write their wishes on strips of paper and hang them on bamboo. The blue color of the oceans is not just water, but is caused by the way water molecules scatter sunlight. Lake Baikal in Siberia is the deepest lake in the world, with a depth of over 5,249 feet. Another surprising curiosity about this lake is that it contains 20% of the planet's unfrozen fresh water. In Japan, there is a capsule hotel where the rooms are literally small capsules of reduced size. In 1971, a man named D.B. Cooper hijacked a plane and demanded a ransom of $200,000, parachuting out and disappearing without a trace. The sun is in an intermediate phase of its life, and it is estimated that it has about 5 billion years left before it becomes a red giant. Mount Roraima, on the border between Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, has a flat shape at its summit, making it look like a giant table. A wasp's stinger cannot be removed by itself, so if it stings you, you must remove the stinger to avoid more venom. In the Galapagos Islands, some animals, such as giant tortoises, can live more than 150 years. The red banana, known in some tropical regions, has a sweeter taste and is deep purple when ripe. 1-cent coins, known as pennies, cost more to make than their actual value. Spiders do not have lungs like humans, but instead breathe through a series of openings in their abdomen called spiracles. The world's most active volcano, Kilauea in Hawaii, has been constantly erupting for more than 30 years, creating new islands and landscapes. The town of Colmar in France looks like something out of a fairy tale, with its pastel-colored houses and canals resembling Venice. In 1973, a man named Larry Walters flew in a garden chair tied to helium balloons, reaching more than 14,763 feet in height before landing. The town of Pripyat in Ukraine, abandoned after the Chernobyl disaster, is still partially intact and is considered a ghost town. The Titan arum plant produces a flower so large and rare that when it blooms, it emits a nauseating smell similar to that of rotting meat. The world's largest tree, called General Sherman, is more than 2,700 years old and stands more than 83 meters tall in California. In some parts of Finland, the sun never sets during the summer, creating the phenomenon known as the midnight sun. Spiders are not insects, they are arachnids, a separate class that includes scorpions and ticks. The Great Horn of Africa, which includes Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya, is one of the oldest regions in the world, with traces of human life dating back more than 2 million years. In Finland, there are more than 3 million saunas, which means there is one sauna for every 2 people. Koalas can sleep up to 22 hours a day because their diet, consisting mainly of eucalyptus leaves, is low in energy. This long rest helps them conserve the energy needed for survival. The world's fastest mouse is the tiny desert gerbil, which can jump up to 3 meters in a single bound. The Olympic flame is a permanent flame that is kept burning from the Olympic Games until the closing ceremony. The Manx cat is a breed of cat known for not having a tail. The fruit called durian is so smelly that it is banned in many public places in Asia, such as on public transport. In 1989, it was discovered that the pyramids of Egypt are aligned with the stars. In India, the city of Jaisalmer is entirely built of golden sandstone, earning it the nickname the Golden City. The country with the largest number of islands in the world is Sweden, with approximately 267,570 islands. The longest navigable aqueduct in the world is located in Magdeburg, Germany, and is 918 meters long. A common pencil can draw a continuous line of up to 35 miles before it wears out. Lake Titicaca, located between Bolivia and Peru, is considered the highest navigable lake in the world, located at about 12,467 feet above sea level. Astronauts can lose up to 2% of their bone mass during long missions in space. It is estimated that most of the world's helium will be used up in the next 20 to 30 years. The planet Venus rotates counterclockwise to most of the planets in the solar system. The longest opera ever written is Richard Wagner's Die Meistersinger von Nürnberg, which lasts more than 5 hours. The average human has about 100,000 hairs on their head, and they lose 50 to 100 a day. In 1991, scientists discovered a global vault in Norway that holds plant seeds from around the world. The deepest hole ever dug by man is the Kola Super Deep Well in Russia, which reaches a depth of 7.6 miles. Russia and Japan have yet to reach a formal peace agreement following World War II. The planet Saturn is the only one in the solar system that has such a low density that it could float on water if there was an ocean large enough to receive it. The Namibian desert in Africa has the tallest sand dunes in the world, reaching over 984 feet high. Humans are the only known species that can cry due to emotions. such as sadness or joy. Pine needles, which are the leaves of the pine tree, contain more vitamin C than oranges, making them an incredibly rich natural source of this nutrient. The Pallas's cat, a little-known feline from Central Asia, has fur so dense and soft that it is considered one of the most exotic in the animal kingdom. The hummingbird is the only bird capable of flying backwards, thanks to its ability to move its wings in a figure-8 motion. The Incas used knotted ropes, known as quipus, to record information and keep their accounts. The Dead Sea, which lies between Israel and Jordan, is so salty that it is almost impossible to sink in its waters due to its high density. In Australia, there is a species of fish known as deep sea fish that has the ability to turn on its own bioluminescence. Japanese spider crabs can grow legs that are more than 10 feet long. The human brain has the ability to remember up to 100,000 different faces over a lifetime, allowing it to recognize people with great accuracy. The Gateway to Hell region in Turkmenistan, where a natural gas crater burns, was a drilling accident. Mosquitoes detect their victims by following the carbon dioxide that people exhale. The Colca Canyon in Peru is twice as deep as the Grand Canyon in Arizona. The island of the Dolls in Mexico is full of dolls hanging in trees. The Pico de Orizaba in Mexico is the highest volcano in North America, reaching 18,500 feet above sea level. Before The Simpsons, the most successful animated series was The Flintstones. It is estimated that there are about 10,000 billion ants in the world, which corresponds to the total weight of the human population. The Snake Island in Brazil is so full of poisonous snakes that access to it is prohibited to tourists. In 2018, a strange object called Oumuamua was discovered in space, which many believe could have been a probe sent by aliens. The first car in history, invented by Carl Benz in 1885, did not have a steering wheel, but a lever to steer it. The Iceman Ötzi, found in the Italian Alps in 1991, lived more than 5,000 years ago. His discovery has provided valuable information about the customs and life of Copper Age people. In 1965, a boy named Shoichi Yokoi was found on an island in Guam after 28 years living in the jungle. Spiders can walk on water because of surface tension, which allows them to stay on the surface without sinking. This ability is especially useful for some species that inhabit aquatic environments. Blue holes are huge underwater sinkholes that can be thousands of meters deep. The stones of Stonehenge in England are aligned with the summer solstice. The Cave of Crystals in Mexico contains giant selenite crystals that can reach up to 39 feet in length. The Tungurahua volcano, located in Ecuador, has remained active for more than 15 years, with constant eruptions and ash emissions. The Matrix movie made history by becoming the first to sell 1 million copies in DVD format, marking a milestone in the film industry. Capuchin monkeys are famous for their ability to use tools, a unique characteristic among primates. They use stones and sticks in surprising ways to access food, such as cracking nuts or extracting insects. The Lusi mud volcano in Indonesia has been in constant activity for more than 10 years, starting in May 2006. The Meraki stones in New Zealand appear perfectly round and aligned on the coast. Did you know that blue glaciers exist in some parts of the world? Check this one out. The Cave of Hands in Argentina has cave paintings so old that they date back over 10,000 years. Kangaroos have 3 vaginas, 2 to receive sperm and 1 for birth. Did you know that an electric eel is capable of generating enough electricity to light up to 10 light bulbs? The Uyuni Salt Desert in Bolivia is the largest natural mirror in the world. On a small island in Japan, snow monkeys bathe in natural hot springs to stay warm during the winter. The Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, a sacred structure for Jews, is made up of huge stones dating back over 2,000 years. Tigers have unique stripes on their skin, much like humans have unique fingerprints. The Shibuya crossing in Tokyo, Japan, is known as the busiest pedestrian crossing in the world. with thousands of people crossing at every traffic light cycle. A dog's sense of smell is about 100,000 times more acute than that of humans. New Zealand is home to the kiwi, unique birds characterized by their small size and inability to fly. They are considered a national symbol and are protected due to their vulnerable status in the wild. 90% of people dream in color and 10% in black and white. The largest known volcano in the solar system, Olympus Mons, is located on Mars and is 3 times higher than Mount Everest. Although snow appears white to the naked eye, it is actually transparent. In India, the Temple of the Mice is a sacred place where rodents are revered. In Venezuela, there is Angel Falls, the highest waterfall in the world, with a drop of 3,211 feet. The eye has an extremely long finger that it uses to pick insects out of tree bark. Did you know that newborn rabbits are called rabbits? The leap year occurs every 4 years to make up for the fact that a year is not exactly 365 days long, but 365.24 days long. In Mongolia, traditional inhabitants live in houses called gur, which are portable, circular-shaped structures. The quokka, a small marsupial native to Australia, is known as the happiest animal in the world due to its constant smile on its face. Snakes lack eyelids, so their eyes are protected by a layer of transparent skin. This layer is periodically replaced, as snakes cannot blink like other animals. In some countries like Japan, there is a tradition of cat cafes, where customers can enjoy their drink while interacting with cats in a relaxed atmosphere. The Toyota Corolla is the best-selling car in history, with more than 50 million units sold. Snails possess up to 14,000 teeth, which are arranged in a structure called a radula, similar to a raspy tongue. Even though we usually see the sun as yellow or orange, it actually emits white light. This is because its light contains all the colors of the spectrum, but the Earth's atmosphere scatters blue light, making the sun appear warm in tone. Groundhog Day, a tradition in the US, originated from the belief that if the groundhog sees its shadow when it emerges from its burrow, there will be 6 more weeks of winter. In some places in Russia, there is a tradition of swimming in ice holes on Epiphany Day. The clownfish is famous for its symbiotic relationship with sea anemones, where they take refuge from predators. In the film The Shining, the iconic scene where Jack Nicholson smashes an axe through a door required 60 doors until director Kubrick was satisfied. Weighing 425 pounds at his peak, Eric Scott Esch, known as Butterbean, became the heaviest boxer in boxing history. The Thrust SSC, a British-designed vehicle, holds the record for the fastest land speed, reaching 762 miles per hour in 1997. Angelina Jolie has been a United Nations Goodwill Ambassador since 2001 and has been involved in numerous humanitarian causes around the world. A 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO sold for a staggering $70 million in 2018, making it the most expensive car ever sold. The Komodo Park in Indonesia is home to Komodo dragons, the world's largest lizards. Every human being shares approximately 99.9% of their DNA with other humans. That 0.1% difference is responsible for variations in characteristics such as skin, eye, and hair color. Manager Arsene Wenger, during his time at Arsenal, was the first to put emphasis on nutrition and physical well-being of players. Nazaré Beach in Portugal has seen some of the world's biggest waves, reaching impressive heights of over 98 feet, attracting surfers. The name Adobe for the famous software company comes from the Adobe Creek River, located behind the home of co-founder John Warnock. Harriet Tubman was an African-American abolitionist who escaped slavery in the United States in 1849, risking her life to reach freedom via the Underground Railroad, a clandestine network of routes. In Japan, you can try more than 200 flavors of Kit Kat. They are created exclusively for different cities, Some sound delicious, like banana or Oreo ice cream. Nestle has revealed that 1 in 3 students buys Kit Kat before taking an entrance exam. The golden frog, which lives in Colombia, is one of the most poisonous animals in the world. Its skin contains enough poison to kill 10 adults. Kawasaki does not only make motorcycles. The company also produces a wide range of products, including aircraft and heavy equipment, as well as motorboats. In addition to roosters, canaries also crow in the early morning to mark their territory. Lapland in Finland is known as the official home of Santa Claus, where there is the Santa's Village to experience the festive atmosphere and meet Santa Claus. In September 2018, Denise Miller-Koronek set the world speed record on a bicycle, reaching 184 miles per hour while pedaling behind a dragster breaking through the wind in the Bonneville Desert, Utah. You have largely inherited your intelligence from your mother. A study has proven that 80% of a baby's cognitive abilities come from their maternal heritage. Tokyo, Tsukiyobashi Jiro, is famous for having sushi that can cost up to $300 for a single meal. Kopi Luwak coffee, originating in Indonesia, is made using coffee beans that have been ingested and excreted by a civet. Kopi Luwak coffee, due to the process and its rarity, can cost up to $600 per kilo. In China, the first soccer balls were made from sewn clothing that was stuffed with garbage. In Europe, during the Middle Ages, soccer balls were made from inflated pig bladders. Now, 80% of the world's soccer balls are made in Pakistan. On Christmas Island, located in the Indian Ocean, the annual migration of red crabs occurs, where millions of crabs cross roads and head out to sea during the breeding season. Some species of dolphins and birds can sleep with one eye open, allowing them to remain alert for predators while resting. The longest recorded fight in boxing history was in 1893 between Andy Bowen and Jack Burke, which lasted 110 rounds and took over 7 hours before being declared a draw due to exhaustion of both boxers. At the 2002 World Cup, Turkish player Hakan Şükür scored the fastest goal in World Cup history 11 seconds into the first half in the group stage match against South Korea. Einstein was known for his disregard for fashion, often going barefoot, and it was said that he preferred not to wear socks because he found them unnecessary. Chris Pratt used to work as a waiter at a pizza parlor in Hawaii before landing his role in Parks and Recreation, which catapulted him to fame. In Japan, it is common for people to work long hours, often well beyond their official workday. Japan has a "don't leave the boss alone in the office" policy, so many employees stay on until their boss leaves. If all bees disappeared, humanity might survive only a few years because of their crucial role in pollinating edible plants. The Maori, the indigenous people of New Zealand, have a traditional greeting called hongi, which involves gently touching noses and foreheads. Irv Gordon set a world record with his 1966 Volvo P1800 by driving more than 3 million miles in this car. At any given time, there are an estimated 15,000 planes in the air around the world. Some cities are experimenting with bike lanes made from solar panels to create self-sufficient routes and generate clean energy at the same time. Forest Green Rovers Football Club is building the world's first fully sustainable football stadium, made almost entirely of wood. Bionic bikes are being developed that assist cyclists by using artificial intelligence and built-in electric motors. During the filming of the Harry Potter film series, around 600,000 wands, 80,000 costumes, and millions of utility parts were used. There are more stars in the observable universe than there are grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth. It is estimated that more than 80% of the world's oceans are still unexplored. In space, there is no concept of sound because there is no air. The Inuit have developed unique ways of dressing to survive in the extreme Arctic climate, using sealskin suits, for example. Starfish can regenerate arms they have lost. Founded in 1088, The University of Bologna in Italy is considered the oldest continuously operating university in the world. Switzerland is famous for its production of high-quality chocolate. The Hernando Siles Stadium in La Paz, Bolivia, sits at an altitude of 12,000 feet above sea level, making it the highest stadium in the world. Venus is the only planet that rotates clockwise. Google Photos was literally created after Jennifer Lopez wore that famous dress at the 2000 Grammys, where so many people searched for her look that the search engine added an image search function. The island of Faisands changes nationality every 6 months. 6 months it is from Spain, and the other 6 from France. China is the country that uses the internet the most, ahead of India or the United States, with 721 million users. Barbie's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts. The name is a tribute to the daughter of Ruth Handler, the inventor of the famous doll. The eyes do more exercises than the legs. The eye moves 100,000 times a day, which is equivalent to walking approximately 50 miles per day. The elephant is a unique animal with 4 knees. There are animals with 2 elbows or 2 knees, but not with 4 knees. On Uranus, a season lasts 21 years, and there are only 2, summer with light and winter with darkness. Reed Hastings is known as the co-founder of Netflix in 1997 and has served as the company's CEO since its inception. The Black Death was caused by the Yersinia pestis bacteria, spread primarily by fleas on black rats. This plague caused the deaths of between 25 to 30 million people, which was equivalent to between 30% and 60% of the total population of Europe at the time. The first music video broadcast on MTV was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles on August 1st, 1981. Michael Jackson was supposed to be at the Twin Towers on the day of the attack, but he overslept, having performed at Madison Square Garden the day before and was exhausted. And that's all. Awesome people. Which of these 400 facts surprised you the most? Leave your opinion in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Zarpado incredible content.